Strona going to do? She was telling me I had to wait for you.
You can welcome everybody.
Okay.
Let me just make sure it's up. Okay, you're live, you're good.
Hare Krishna. Welcome to everybody to the ISKCON Philadelphia Ram Navami celebration. We're doing it over the internet, YouTube I hear. So I think some of you or many of you just heard from Dhruta Karma Prabhu about the antiquity, extreme antiquity of the human race. So I'm going to speak just for a few minutes from Srimad Bhagavatam, the 9th canto, about the activities and teachings of Lord Ramchandra. Jai Sita Ram Lakshman Hanuman Ki Jai. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Thank you. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
We're going to read one verse, a few verses from the 9th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, where Shukadeva Goswami, the speaker of Srimad Bhagavatam, summarizes the pastimes of Lord Ramchandra. I'm going to start with text number 3. We're not going to chant it responsively because I won't be able to hear your vibration, even if I'll say it once and you can say it back, but I won't be able to hear it. Tasyanucharitam rajan Rishibhistatvadarshibi Shrutam hi varnitam bhuri Tvayasita patirmuhu. O King Parikshit, the transcendental activities of Lord Ramchandra have been described by great saintly persons who have seen the truth. Because you have heard again and again about Lord Ramchandra, the husband of Mother Sita, I shall describe these activities only in brief. Please listen. Purport. Modern Rakshasas, posing as educationally advanced merely because they have doctorates, have tried to prove that Lord Ramchandra is not the Supreme Personality of Godhead, but an ordinary person. But those who are learned and spiritually advanced will never accept such notions. They will accept the descriptions of Lord Ramchandra and his activities only as presented by Tattva Darshis. You know what that means? Those who know the absolute truth. In the Bhagavad Gita it is said, Tad vidhi pranipatena pariprashnena sevaya upadekshanti te jnanam jnaninas tattvadarshina. Just try to learn the truth by approaching a spiritual master, inquire from him submissively, and render service unto him. The self-realized soul can impart knowledge unto you because he has seen the truth. Unless one is a tattvadarshi, in complete knowledge of the absolute truth, one cannot describe the activities of the personality of Godhead. Therefore, although there are many so-called Ramayanas, or histories of Lord Ramchandra's activities, some of them are not actually authoritative. Sometimes, Lord Ramchandra's activities are described in terms of one's own imagination, speculation, or material sentiments. But the characteristics of Lord Ramchandra should not be handled as something imaginary. While describing the history of Lord Ramchandra, Shukadev Goswami told Maharaj Parikshit, "You have already heard about the activities of Lord Ram. So apparently, 5,000 years ago, there were many Ramayanas, or histories of Lord Ramchandra's activities, and there are many still. But we must select only those books written by the Tattvadarshis, not the books of so-called scholars who claim only on the basis of a doctorate, who claim knowledge only on the basis of a doctrine." This is a warning by Shukadev Goswami, Rishibhish Tattvadarshibi. Although the Ramayana, composed by Valmiki, is a huge literature, the same activities are here summarized by Shukadev Goswami in a few verses. Om Agyana Timirandhasya Gyanangana Shalakaya Chakshuranmilitam Jena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Jena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadabhaitam Dadati Shapadantika Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivashani Gaur Bhaktivinoda Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So as most of you know, in the Vedic culture there were two dynasties, or royal dynasties, one from the moon, Chandravams, and one from the solar dynasty called Suryavams. And Lord Ramchandra appeared in the dynasty of the sun, Suryavams. The son of the sun god, Surya, is Vaivasvata Manu. Vaivasvata Manu's son was Ikshvaku. And then down in that line, some generations later, was a famous devotee named Katvanga Maharaj. Then Maharaj Raghu, Dasharat, who was Lord Ramchandra's father. His mother was Kaushalya. And he had brothers, Lakshman, Bharat, and Shatrughna. Then Lord Ramchandra had two sons, Lava and Kush. And 26 generations coming from Kush was the beginning of Kali Yuga. It was 5,000 years ago. That's given. So, in this purport we just read, still there are many Ramayanas, and we should be very careful about hearing the Ramayana from an authorized or bona fide source. That method of understanding spiritual and appreciating spiritual knowledge is described in the Bhagavad Gita. Spiritual wisdom cannot be imagined, changed, or improved upon, but it's transmitted and received through a disciplic succession called parampara. Lord Krishna said that to Arjuna, Evam parampara praptam imam rajarshiyo vidu. So the science of understanding God is understood in this chain of spiritual self-realized souls who themselves are practitioners and exemplars of the knowledge. So what is the purpose of hearing about Lord Ramchandra's activities? Because hearing about those activities from a bona fide source it's very, very potent time and again. But you don't find those passages in the original Ramayana written by Valmiki. Of course, Lord Ram pays respect to Lord Shiva, but Lord Shiva is his devotee. Lord Shiva says to Parvati, okay, sure. Thank you. Hare Krishna. Ararananam sarvesha Vishnu ararana param tasmat parataram devi tadiyanam samachanam. Lord Shiva said that, oh Devi, of all kinds of worship, the worship of Vishnu or Ram is best. But even better than worship of Vishnu is worship of his devotee. So a common interpretation of such a so-called Ramayana is that all gods are the same. It doesn't matter. You can worship Ram, Shiva, Durga, it doesn't matter. That understanding is rejected specifically by Krishna in Bhagavad Gita. Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, Kama staistaya jnana prapadyante anya devata. Those people who have some material desires and they're distracted by lust, they're worshipping other gods. So really, when we think of all the gods being the same, the idea is that it's not the form of God that we're worshiping, it's the unborn energy within. And that philosophy is called Mayavad, or impersonalism, and it results in everybody thinking they're God. So you can worship me. There's famous people, famous so-called swamis, especially in Bengal, and they said, get rid of the deities and worship the living God. So their followers got rid of all things, all deities from the altar, and who are they worshiping? Their own picture, their picture. So this is hearing about the Supreme Personality of Godhead is part of bhakti or devotional service, and it's meant to please Him. So if he was thirsty and is asking for water, if you give him a dirty glass of water, will that be pleasing? No. Similarly, speaking and hearing adulterated versions of the Ramayana are not pleasing. One should hear from the bona fide versions, from the bona fide source, a Tattvadarshi, like Srila Prabhupada. Okay, we're going to go, that was first point. Second point, most of you know the story of how Lord Ram was banished to the forest. Here, I'll just read this one verse here. It's verse 8 in this chapter, which is a summary. Carrying out the order of his father, Lord Ram, who was bound by a promise to his wife, Lord Ramchandra left behind his kingdom, opulence, friends, well-wishers, residents, and everything else, just as a liberated soul gives up his life, and went to the forest with Sita. Purport. Maharaj Dasharatha had 3 wives. You know those?
Yeah.
Yes.
Who's that?
Kaikai.
Koikai, Sumitra, and Kaushali. Yes. So Kaikeyi specifically, and there was some situation where she served him very, very pleasingly, and he wanted to give her a benediction. Kaikeyi said, "Oh no, I won't take it now. I'll take it later." At the time of the coronation of Lord Ram, criticizing Dasharatha, criticizing Lord Ram. First, she rejected it. She did not pay attention. But over time, it influenced even the mother of an incarnation of God. What to speak of ourselves? Therefore, when Lord Chaitanya was asked, what is the symptom of a Vaishnava, a devotee? You know what he said? Asat sangatyaga e Vaishnavacharya. He said the first symptom of a devotee is give up the association of envious people, of materialistic people, because that will undermine your spiritual advancement. So the other side of that is to get association of advanced people, spiritual people who are advanced on the spiritual path. That's maybe a little difficult now now that you're quarantined at home, but there are recorded sadhu sangha in these books, these Vaishnava literatures. So you can get sadhu sangha. It's so nice that by reading Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam, given or commented upon by sadhus, tattvadarshis, you can still get the benefit of that sadhu sangha. So, next thing is, Lord Ramchandra was banished to the forest. For how many years was that?
12.
14. This is very interesting because, he was isolated in the forest. So now people are quarantined and they're isolated. So he might be isolated for a month or two, right? And that becomes very difficult. So he was 14 years isolated. I mean, there's two ways to think about it. So he left, usually in the world, people think that the purpose of life, the real goal of life, is to amass material opulence and become wealthy and enjoy life. So Lord Ramchandra, understand, even though he's the Supreme Personality of Godhead, he gave up all that opulence very happily. Why did he do that? Being the Supreme Personality of Godhead, if you think about it, he was the cause of all that. He arranged for himself to be exiled into the forest. He arranged for himself. Why does he do that? Because he wanted to emphasize that the real purpose of human life is not to become a big king with lots of wealth, but to develop spiritual life. So when he went to the forest, he was smiling with Sita and Lakshman. And what did he do while he was in the forest?
Spiritual activities.
You know, he lived very simply. And who lives in the forest? Well, you got bears and tigers and snakes and things. But also, at that time anyway, not this time, that time, there were great sages living in the forest. So, Lord Ramchandra and his associates would seek out the sages and hear from him about how to make progress in spiritual life. Among other things. So he was showing by his own example that every moment of life should be utilized to become Krishna conscious. Chanakya Pandit says, Ayusha kshane kopi nalabhya sarva kotipi. Life is so valuable, human life is so valuable, that you cannot even purchase a moment back, even if you have $1 million. Right? So, even though he was quarantined or isolated into the forest, he used that time to develop for spiritual pursuits as an example for us. So now we are quarantined, isolated. So we should also take advantage of this time as an opportunity to chant the holy names more, to increase our hearing and chanting about God. So at that time, Ramchandra was able to find sages in the forest. Nowadays, you got to find the sages in the books, and you might find them on the internet too. You can read, you can see videos of devotees like Srila Prabhupada and other advanced devotees and hear from them. So take advantage of this. Live very simply. Reduce your material needs for the time and take advantage of this. Increase chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Okay. Then there's one other thing I wanted to mention about Lord Ramchandra. There's a verse, text number 51 in this chapter. Many people have heard about Ram Rajya. Have you heard about Ram Rajya? It means when Lord Ramchandra was king, things were really, really nice. That's what people say. That's called Ram Rajya. People want to have Ram Rajya. So here it says, Lord Ramchandra became king during Treta Yuga. Treta Yuga is the second yuga where things start to deteriorate a bit. But because of his good government, the age was like Satya Yuga. Everyone was religious and completely happy. Purport. Among the four yugas, Satya, Treta, Dvapara, and Kali, the Kali Yuga, that's what we're experiencing now, Kali Yuga is the worst. But if the process of Varnashram Dharma, using your activities to worship the Supreme Personality of Godhead, serve Him, is introduced, even in the age of Kali, the situation of Satya Yuga can also be invoked. The Hare Krishna movement, or the Krishna consciousness movement, is meant for this purpose. Kaler doshinide rajan astihyeka mahadguna kirtanare krishnasya mukta sangha paramraje. This is Shukdev Goswami speaking to Parikshit Maharaj. My dear king, although Kali Yuga is full of faults, there is still one good quality about this age. Simply by chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, one can become free from material bondage and be promoted to the transcendental kingdom. If people take to this Sankirtan movement of chanting Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, they will certainly be freed from the contamination of Kali Yuga, and the people of the age will be happy as people were in Satya Yuga, the golden age. Anyone, anywhere, can easily take to this Hare Krishna movement when you only chant the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Observe the rules and regulations. Stay free from the contamination of sinful life. Even if one is sinful and cannot give up sinful life immediately, if he chants the Hare Krishna Mahamantra with devotion and faith, he will certainly be freed from all sinful activities and his life will become successful. Param Vijayate Shri Krishna Sankirtanam. This is the blessing of Lord Ramchandra, who has appeared in the age of Kali as Lord Gaurasundar, Lord Chaitanya. You see? 6 arms, Lord Chaitanya showed that form to Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya. 2 arms as Lord Krishna, 2 arms as Lord Ramchandra, and 2 arms as Lord Chaitanya, Sadbhuj. So the same benefit that people could get during the Treta Yuga by performing big sacrifices is equally available, easily available, simply in Kali Yuga by chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. One other thing that Lord Shiva told his wife Parvati, I think you know this one also. Rama Rameti Rameti. You know this one? Rama Rameti Rameti. Rama Rame Manorame. Sahasra Nama Vitulyam. Rama Nama Varanane. So he said that all the benefit, there's so much benefit, all the benefit that you can get by chanting Vishnu Sahasranam, 1,000 names of Vishnu, you can get by chanting the name of Ram 3 times. 3 times. Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, 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 Hare Hare. Yeah, Hare Krishna, 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 Hare Hare. Hare Ram, 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 Hare Hare. Okay. Hare Krishna, thank you very much. We have a couple of minutes before the Arti. We don't have any questions, I don't think. Questions from the audience, I doubt. You've got on the phone. Okay.
I have a question about
Okay.
the Hare Krishna Mahamantra is Ram, but
Yes.
some people say it's Balaram and others say it's Ramachandra. So can you
Yes.
elaborate on that for a minute?
Yeah, Prabhupada says that in purport that it could be either one, it doesn't matter. Ram, but they're all in this transcendental plane. But they're different than the demigods. Demigods are jiva souls, but these are all Ram, Nrsimha, Balaram. They're all Vishnu Tattva. So if you chant Ram, indicating Balaram, Ram is also a name for Krishna. So on that level, they're all equally beneficial. On the other hand, still we said that 1,000 names of Vishnu, you can get the result by chanting 3 names of Ram. So it seems like that Ram is a little better, right? Yeah. Although they're all transcendently powerful. Lord Chaitanya said, "Nam nama kari bahuda nija sarva shaktis, tatrarpitani yamata smaranena kala." God has endowed all of his potency, sarva shakti, all of his potency is there in his holy names, all of them. So the name Ram is a potency, the name Vishnu is potency. But 3 names of Ram, 1,000 names of Vishnu. And then the next verse is 3 names of Ram equals 1 name of Krishna. So the Ekavrityat Krishnasya. So therefore we chant. And there are many mantras people chant, and many mantras, but Lord Chaitanya specifically recommended chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. 16 words, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Sometimes people make up other mantras, Nityaya Gauraresham, like this. But it's said that you have to get the mantras coming down from this, just like the knowledge has to come down in parampara, in disciplic succession. Your mantra, in order to be effective, in order to give it to bear fruit, has to be given by a bona fide spiritual master. So, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta, Srila Prabhupada's guru, anytime somebody would chant some other mantras that were made up, he would stop them. Even though there were the names of some, they included some names of Krishna, but if they're manufactured, he would stop them because they're not given by the disciplic succession. Sampradaya vihinaye mantraste nishpala mata. You won't get the result. You won't get any fruit if you get that, if that mantra is imagined. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Arati. So we have like 8 people here. 8 devotees.
Jai Shri Gaur Nitai ki Jagannath Baladev Subhadra Maharani ki
Jai.
Shri Radha Sharat Bihari ki Sitaram Lakshman Hanuman ki Jai.
God.
Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Nitai Gora Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gora Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gora Hari Bol. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Rama Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Rama Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare Hare
Jai Om Vishnupad Paramahamsa Parivrajak Acharya Ashtotara Sutta Shishimar Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj Prabhupada Ki Jai. Jai Om Vishnupad Paramahamsa Parivrajak Acharya Ashtotara Sutta Shishimar Divine Grace Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Maharaj Prabhupada Ki Jai. Ananta Koti Vaishnav Vrinda Ki Jai. ISKCON founder Acharya Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Jai. Prem se kaho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivashadi Gaur Bhakti Vrinda Ki Jai. Shri Shri Radha Krishna Gopa Gopinath Shyam Kund Radha Kund Giri Govardhan Ki Jai. Shri Sitaram Lakshman Hanuman Ki Jai. Ayodhya Pati Rama Ki Jai. Vrindavan Dham Ki Jai. Navadvip Dham Ki Jai. Ayodhya Dham Ki Jai. Ganga Devi Ki Jai. Jamuna Mai Ki Jai. Sarayu Mai Ki Jai. Tulsi Devi Ki Jai. Bhakti Devi Ki Jai. Gaur Premanande. To the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to Sri Sri Guru and Sri Gauranga Hari Hari. so that you see the Lord Jagannath and Lord Balaram both have their bows because they're the mood of Lord Ramchandra. Lord Krishna, who's Lord Jagannath also, is the source of all avatars. So Lord Ramchandra is there, and Krishna is the source of all. Lord Ramchandra is always there with Krishna also. It does have a touch though too.
Oh.
You know, instead of Nrsimha, there's 10. Oh, okay. Hare Krishna. One of them is to Lord Ramchandra. Still talking? Vitarasi dikshu rane dikpati kamaniyam dashamukhamoli bolim ramaniyam keshavadrita rama sharira jai jagadisha hare jai jagadisha hare Jagadisha Hari. Okay, we'll do the singing until we get that. Tavakara Kamala Hare Nakam Madhuta Sringam Dolita Hiranya Kashipu Tanubingam Keshavadrita Narahari Rupa Jai Jagadisha Hare Jai Jagadisha Hare Jai Jagadisha Hare Kama Hare Nakam Madhuta Sringam Dalita Hiranya Kashipu Tanubringam Keshavadrita Narahari Rupa Jai Jagadisha Hare Jai Jagadisha Hare There we go. Vitarasi dikshurane dikpati kamaniyam dashamukha mauli palim ramaniyam keshavadrita ra Bolo dikshu rane dikpati kamaniyam dashamukha mauli palim ramaniyam keshavadrita rama sharira jai jagadisha hare jai jagadisha hare jagadisha again one more time Vitarasi dikshurane dikpati kamaniyam dashamukha mauli palim ramaniyam keshavadrita rama sharira jai jagadisha hare jai jagadisha hare Dashamukha Mali Malim Ramaniyam Keshavadrita Rama Sharira Jai Jagadisha Hare Jai Jagadisha Hare Jagadisha Hare One more time केशवधृता राम शरीर जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे जगदीश हरे राम शरीर जय जगदीश हरे
Hare Krishna. On behalf of ISKCON Philadelphia, I'd like to wish everybody a happy Ram Navami. It is under these most unusual circumstances that we come to you, but we're happy that we are able to still celebrate Ram Navami together, even though we are at a distance. We wanted to wish everybody, hoping that everybody is doing well. Their health is they're taken care of, them and their family. First and foremost, to stay safe during these times. But also, we wanted to point out that here at ISKCON Philadelphia, we have a committed group of devotees here at the temple that have worked really hard over the past 2 weeks to be able to bring this Ram Navami festival to you. And Jai Jagannath Baladev Subhadra Maharani ki, Shishi Gornitai ki, Shishi Radha Shara Bihari ki, Sitaram Lakshman Hanuman ki. So they worked quite hard over the last few weeks to bring this Ram Navami festival to you. We have a wonderful active congregation that during these festival times everybody comes together. And that part is absent this year. But the temple devotees, as I mentioned, have worked very hard. You saw having darshan, the beautiful altar, the decorations that were there. Jagannath and Baladev were dressed up as Ramachandra and Lakshman with their arrows. Certain traditions that they were a little challenging, but we were determined to be able to keep during this Ram Navami festival. The 56 offerings were made today for the pleasure of Lord Ramachandra. We had the deities that are traditionally brought here. Yatin Patel and Shraddha Patel, they're Sitaram Lakshman Hanuman deities. We're very grateful that they brought them out and allowed them to be here on the altar, and allowed you to also be able to have darshan. So for the remainder of the night, we have a couple more activities for you. First is we're going to be doing a drama, and then we're going to have some kirtan. We're going to have a pushpa abhishek for Sitaram Lakshman Hanuman, and then we'll continue with more kirtan until 8 o'clock. So we're going to have our drama right now, and I ask you to please use your imagination a little bit. We had limited resources. The stores aren't open. We can go and get some supplies that we may have needed. And also our ability to congregate and come together has also been very limited. We've been just kind of keeping our distance from each other. So we put this together. Again, please use your imagination. Be forgiving of us for any shortcomings. We don't have a great setup, stage props and such. But we're going to make do for your pleasure as well as for the pleasure of Lord Ram. Sitaram Lakshman Hanuman ki Jai.
One early morning, Lotus-eyed Ram arrived at the royal council chamber along with Vashishta and Kashyap to attend the state administration. The royal assembly consisted of ministers, teachers of law, diplomats, kings, and other respectable persons.
Oh, Lakshmana, go to the palace gate and see if any citizen have come with requests.
Oh, Ram, it appears that everyone is in your kingdom is satisfied and not in need of anything.
Dear Lakshmana, please check again more carefully. No creatures in my kingdom should be neglected.
Going out again, Lakshman then noticed a dog sitting near the palace gate, its head bleeding. While looking at Lakshman, the dog whined mournfully.
What is wrong? Why have you come here?
I want to have a conversation with Lord Ram. I would like to speak to him. His lotus feet. Free one from all fearfulness, and they are the shelter of the distressed.
If you want to say something, you are welcome to come and speak to King yourself.
Low-born creatures like myself have no business going into the palace, especially if somebody like Lord Ram. He is omniscient, and he is the perfection of religion. Unless Lord Ram personally invites me in, I cannot go.
Lakshman then reported the matter to Ram, who immediately commanded,
Whoever he may be, bring him here without delay.
King has granted permission for you to come and speak yourself. Please come.
O Lord, the king is the representative of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Ram, you are the most noble and religious of kings. I come here today to fall at your lotus feet and beg for your mercy. There is something I wish to tell you. But please, the words that I speak, do not let them anger you.
Go on. Speak without fear. Let me know what I can do for you.
Earlier today, without any provocation, there was this mendicant Brahmana who hit me in the head with a stick and injured me. I started bleeding. I'm not too sure what to do.
Immediately Ram had his men summon Sarvatasutta.
strike this dog? What was his fault?
Oh, King, I'm a mendicant, and I was traveling to many holy places of pilgrimage. I traveled for many, many miles. I was subsisting just by begging for alms, and I hadn't eaten for days. And I came upon this dog who was lying across my path, and I couldn't go. So I said, "Make way, make way!" But the dog, he barely moved. He was going so slowly, so I just tapped him on the head with my staff just to make him go a little faster. Was that wrong? If it is, I'll accept whatever punishment that you give.
Ram then counseled the Brahmin that anger is like a sweet-spoken enemy in the garb of a friend. It is like a sharp sword that destroys everything. Anger nullifies whatever sacrifice and austerities one has performed, as well as any charity one has given. Therefore, one should give up anger, and as a driver controls a chariot, one should control the senses, which are running towards their objects like wild horses.
Oh, minister, what punishment should be given to him? Justice must be done, for nothing instills confidence in people's mind more than administration of fair punishment to the wrongdoers.
A Brahmana is never to be punished. This is the unanimous opinion of the scholars. But you are the best judge. You are Lord Vishnu yourself and the protector of the universe. So whatever you say is the best dharma.
My dear king, you had asked me, is there anything I can do for you? I have one request after hearing this. Can you make this Brahmana the head of the local temple?
So be it.
The Brahmana became delighted and accepted the honor of becoming a spiritual leader.
Okay, this is not a punishment. You are rewarding him with an exalted position.
Dear minister, you do not understand the intricacies of karma. Please ask this dog about the punishment.
You see, in my last life, I was the leader of that local temple. But I became very proud of my position. I forgot the value of human life. I neglected to serve the Supreme Personality of Godhead and his devotees. Instead, my focus was on my own material comforts. As a result, I had to take this birth in the body of a dog. Understanding the mentality of this Brahmana, if he is not careful, he is surely to suffer the same fate that I have suffered.
The Vedas indicate that leaders in any society have a grave responsibility. No one should become a king, leader, spiritual master, head of a temple, or a parent if they cannot save their dependents from the cycle of repeated birth and death. Lord Ramchandra was such a leader. Others who accept such responsible positions should therefore personally follow the principles recommended in Bhagavad Gita, encourage their dependents to do so, and regularly chant the holy names of the Lord. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. To become free from material attachments and rise to the transcendental platform.
Jai Sitaram Lakshman Hanuman ki
Jai.
Adhyapati Ram ki
Jai.
So So now we will be having another darshan of the Lord, Sitaram Lakshman Hanuman, or Jagannath, Shri Shri Radhashar Bihari and Shri Shri Gaurnitai, and we'll be doing a Pushpa Abhishek. So you'll see the curtains open in just a moment, and then for the remainder of the night you'll hear the melodious chanting of the Lord's holy names. So please stay with us and join us. Jagannath Baladev Subhadra Maharani ki Jai. Shri Shri Radhashar Bihari ki Jai. Shri Shri Gaurnitai ki Jai. Sitaram Lakshman Hanuman ki Jai.
Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Pristhaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swamin Iti Namane Ayo. Namaste Saraswate Devi Gauravani Prachayane Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Dishitarine Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Prachayane Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Ram 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 Sita Ram 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 Jai Sitaram, Jai Jai Sitaram, Jai Raghunandan,
रघुनंदन जय सीताराम जय सीताराम जय जय सीताराम जय सीताराम जय रघुनंदन जय सीताराम जय सीताराम जय जय सीताराम जय सीताराम जय जय सीताराम जानकी वल्लभ जय सीताराम दशरथ नंदन जय सीताराम जानकी वल्लभ जय सीताराम दशरथ नंदन जय सीताराम जानकी वल्लभ जय सीताराम दशरथ नंदन जय सीताराम जय रघुनंदन जय सीताराम जय सीताराम जय जय सीताराम जय रघुनंदन जय सीताराम जय सीताराम जय जय सीताराम जय सीताराम जय जय सीताराम जय सीताराम जय जय सीताराम जानकी वल्लभ जय सीताराम दशरथ नंदन जय सीताराम जानकी वल्लभ जय सीताराम दशरथ नंदन जय सीताराम रघुनंदन जय सीताराम जय सीताराम जय जय सीताराम जय रघुनंदन जय सीताराम जय सीताराम जय जय सीताराम जय सीताराम जय जय सीताराम जानकी वल्लभ जय सीताराम दशरथ नंदन जय जानकी वल्लभ जय सीताराम दशरथ नंदन जय सीताराम राजा राम पतित पावन सीताराम रघुपति राघव 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 राजा राम पतित पावन सीताराम श्री राम जय जय राम श्री राम जय 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 राम जय जय राम जय राम जय जय राम दशरथ नंदन जय सीताराम श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम दशरथ नंदन श्री राम जय राम जानकी वल्लभ जय सीताराम श्री राम जय राम जानकी वल्लभ श्री राम जय राम रावण थक्कर जय सीताराम जय जय राम रावण थक्कर जय Sitaram. Sri Ram, Jai Jai Ram, Lakshman, Hanuman, Ramaya. Sri Ram, Jai Jai Ram, Lakshman, Hanuman, Ramaya. Bhupati Raghava, Raja Ram, Patita Pavana, Siya Ram. Bhupati Raghava, Raja Ram, Patita Pavana, Siya Ram. Bhupati Raghava, Raja Ram, Jai Raghulandana, Sita Ram. Raja Ram, Jai Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Namaste Singhaya. Lada lada daine. Hiranya Kashipur Baksha. Shilatam Karakaraye. Ito Nrisingha Parata Nrisingha. Jato Jato Jamita Nrisingha. Shringa Dolita Hiranya Kashipo Tanabringa Keshava Dita Nana Hari Rupa Jajagun Jajagun Shahane Navakara Kamala Kamabhuta Sringam Dolita Hiranya Kashipo Tanabringam Kesava Dita Nara Hare Rupa Jaya Namaste Narasimhaya. Namaste Narasimhaya. Nrsimha Bhagavan ki jai. Shri Sitaram Lakshman Hanuman ki jai. Shri Bhagavan ki jai.
Hare Krishna. Sitaram Lakshman Hanuman ki jai. Thank you all for tuning in at your homes, in your safe places, to join us for this Ram Navami evening. I found that in the beginning, I felt things were a lot different, that it was very empty. And then I reminded myself that actually in spiritual life, there's the physical distances. They don't actually have to be impediments. They can actually become uniting factors. And I started meditating on a full temple room full of devotees chanting together in unison. And then I realized whether you're miles away or you're here, we can still be very connected. And I hope that this Ram Navami celebration was joyful for you. Of course, we'd like to be together, and hopefully sometime very soon we can be. But until then, let's continue to keep your faith strong, continue to take advantage of the sanghas that we have morning and evening throughout the week. And please take shelter these holy days. Lord Ramchandra, Lord Krishna, the holy names. And as you, now you're going to take prasadam with your families. We wish you to remain safe, healthy, and stay connected. Let's stay connected with you. Hare Krishna.